Hi guys, it's Kirsty here from Positive Special Needs Parenting. It has been a while between Facebook Lives, and I'm really hoping going into next term that I'll be doing more of them. I'd like to do one a week. I've said this time and time again. There was a time there when I was doing twice a week, so I'm just going to try and sort of build in and schedule some time so I can get them to happen. But I want to stop in quickly to say hi, to say I'm still alive. My hair is back to being curly. Which has made Gilbert happy. But I also just wanted to talk a little bit about school holidays, because for many of us in New South Wales in particular, this is the last day of term 3. So school holidays are on the horizon. For some of you, you'll be in the middle of it. You might be even at the end. So I'm not sure, depending on where you are in Australia or even overseas. But school holidays can always be a troubling time and can be a time of angst for special needs families for a variety of reasons. For me, I have a range of responses to school holidays. I personally, I'm torn between looking forward to them, but also being quite anxious about them and about the fact that I'll have 3 kids for 2 weeks to look after, and keep occupied. The fact that it's, I work from home, so school holidays is always a difficult time for me to actually manage my work. But also just for the anxiety and, the stress and the strain that holidays can make on can give our kids as well. And so it's really important that we actually get prepared for holidays. And so post I shared earlier this morning, and it's one that I wrote last year or the year before, I can't remember, but it really has a great lot of tips, and I'll be referring to quite a few of those in the video today. But I just wanted to hop online and just have a quick chat just to see how you guys are going, and also, share a little bit about what we're doing and how we're, preparing for the holidays, and tips and strategies that you might want to use as well. The first one that I want to talk about is giving our kids some downtime and allowing them to decompress. So I know my kids are sort of like limping towards the finish line. They holidays to have come a week or so ago or more. So they are struggling. They are tired. They are over it. They just want to collapse in a heap and just have a rest for a while. And I think it's important for us that we give our kids that opportunity. So even if we're going on holidays, or even if we have things planned, maybe have a think about planning things for half days, or at least trying to give them some downtime as much as you can in the holiday period, because I know my kids need downtime to rest and recharge. They just need time to do their own thing. They need time to enjoy their special interests. They need time to be alone. They need time on their devices. They need time to do whatever it is that makes them happy and content. So really, probably the first thing to do is to make sure your kids can rest and recharge. So that means giving them some downtime and giving them some time to decompress, and to give them that time that they need to recover. Because the way, any term, and it doesn't matter how old your kids are, what school they're in, what stage of schooling they're in, it's really difficult for our kids to hold it together for, a school day, let alone doing that for 5 days a week, let alone doing that for, 10 terms, 10 weeks in a term. So just think about it from that point of view, and obviously make sure you give your kids the chance to rest and recharge with the holidays. So we've got nothing planned, for this weekend. I don't think we have anything planned now until Wednesday. So that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to give them some time to themselves to rest and relax. But on the other hand, it's also important to actually have some schedules or some plans in place, because my kids love not having to go to school, but they don't love not really having a routine and a schedule. And so the other flip side of the holidays that some kids will find difficult is the fact that if you don't have a routine, so school has a routine, it has a timetable, it has a time that you go, we'll have some ideas of what you do in the day. Your kids might have a visual schedule to go. They obviously know their morning and afternoon routine when it's a school day, but holidays are obviously different. So something you can do, and you can have a look at the post that I shared earlier today, how to survive holidays as an autism parent. In that, I share an example of a holiday routine. And it doesn't have to be anything huge, but sometimes putting a routine together and saying that these things need to be done before you have downtime, you have your computer, is a good way of at least giving them a good idea of what to expect during the day. Because for a lot of kids, school, they don't like the pressure of school, but school does give them that chance to, have a scheduled, timetable day. They know what to expect. They know what's happening. So that anxiety of what's going to happen isn't there. But sometimes you'll find in the holidays, even after the first few days of that relief and that decompression, you might find anxiety creep back in because there is no timetable. There is no schedule. They don't know what to expect. So it's always good, if you need to, if you feel your kids will benefit from that, to put in, a little daily schedule. It could be, as simple as, brush your teeth, get dressed, get out of bed, those sorts of things. You might then say, okay, an hour of outdoor time and then an hour of screen time. You might have something very general, a general sort of idea of how the day is going to run. You can also use calendars. So we use wall calendar at our place to put down things like, okay, we're going to grandma's house today, or we're going to go to the movies, or we're going to go to the park and see friends. So it's always good to be able to put on a calendar somewhere what's actually going to happen so your kids know, so it's not unexpected for them. The other good thing about using a calendar is you can actually cross off the days as the holidays go on. So your kids will know exactly when school returns. So that's a really important thing that the calendar can do as well. So you can start getting them into, back into the swing of school when it comes closer to the end of the holidays. And that's the other benefit of having a routine and not sort of letting everything sort of go, to nothing, do you know what I mean? And not having anything in place. Because if you can maintain sort of a similar nighttime routine, for your kids, that will make it so much easier, obviously, for them to go back to school and for them to fit back into the routine they had. Because that's the balancing act here. It's giving them that time they need to decompress and have that downtime from school, but it's also ensuring that they don't have enough downtime that they feel stressed. That they feel stressed and anxious about not having a routine. So that's really important, and that's a really interesting juggling act when it comes to our kids. So that's why sort of in the past, using a routine, using schedules, and using a calendar have helped us in helping our kids get through the holidays and know what's coming up and know what to expect. So for instance, next week I've sort of told Gilbert already, he has a bus outing with guide dogs, and that's to get him used to catching the bus, because in a few years he'll be catching the bus to school. So we're trying to work in early and build this in slowly for him so that by the time it comes time for that transition to his new school for year 11, the bus won't be an issue anymore. He'll know how to catch the bus. He'll know what to do. But we've had to get over the whole issue of him not liking to do stuff in the holidays. So we've had to build into that trick, for instance, that you'll go to McDonald's. He loves McDonald's. So I've given him good notice about that. We'll write that into his diary and into his calendar. And so that's the way that we can get him to accept doing things in the holidays. The other thing is, if you're going to do something, so if you're going to go out on an outing, etc., it's really good to have a day of rest either side. Yes, share away. You can share anything. Sorry, this is Lydia. Hi, Lydia. You can share anything on this page. So feel free to share videos, to share posts, to share anything on here. It's a public page, and I'm doing this to help others. So I'd love for you to share with others if that's what you like to do and you think others will get benefit. So yeah, so going back to sort of having a holiday routine, really important just to find that balance between scheduling sort of too much, because kids need that downtime and that decompression, but also giving them a little bit of certainty so they don't actually spiral into another sort of anxiety, which we've had before, because the holidays are just too broad for them, that they don't know. And the other benefit of obviously having that routine and things in place is that when it comes time to go back to school, because that's always what happens at the end of school holidays, however long or short they are, they will be in a better place to do that. It's not going to be so much of a big shock. And the other thing for us, talking about calendars and things like that, is daylight saving starts for New South Wales and I think Victoria and Tasmania this weekend as well. So that's another thing to throw into the mix. But at least the kids will have had the 2 weeks of holidays before going back to school and hopefully getting used to daylight savings. The other thing to do on holidays, and this is more if you're going away, so those schedules and things are great even if you're at home. But if you're going away, another really good thing is to obviously put together some social stories. And oh, Tara said getting married. Oh my gosh, holidays absolutely crazy. Yes, I can share your terror. I really can share your terror, Tara. I really hope things settle down, but maybe it might be good if you can to do a little bit of a schedule just to help your kids through it, or just so you can pre-plan some of the things that they might be able to do. So if that helps in any way, do it. In the post that I shared this morning, I do have a list of, and I do have sort of a schedule that you can use, a routine. But yes, that reminds me of this time nearly 18 years ago. It's my 18th wedding anniversary on Monday, and I was trying to finish a uni thesis and all that stuff, plus plan a wedding, plus it was the end of the Olympics in Sydney, and it was just nuts. So I've sort of, not quite with kids, but I have been in that situation where you're just struggling to get it all down. But that's why I find that my kids respond really well to routines, and so do I, to have lists and to have everything in place so that, there is no unexpected surprises, and it keeps your kids on an even keel, because throwing things in the mix like a wedding and a big change and that sort of thing down the track as well can give that extra bit of complexity, which can make it even harder to deal with. But if you are going away, the other thing to do is to definitely put in place social stories or visual itineraries. Now, I've got another blog called Autism Family Travel, which is sadly neglected at the moment, but there are still quite a lot of resources on there, and we'll be kicking it back into gear because we're planning a big trip in 2020 overseas with our kids. So on that site, there's a lot of information about how to make social stories, how to use them with your kids. But I think it's really important when you're going on holidays and if you're going away to have that. Again, that addresses the uncertainty and addresses the anxiety that your kids might have for that. Oh, and Tara, you're doing a venue visit next week. Yes, that is excellent idea. Take out as many of the uncertainties as you can, and it can be really hard, but even just something little like that can make such the difference on the day, and sounds like you're all on top of it. So I just wish you all the best of luck. Oh my God, how exciting. But going back to holidays and going, and if you're going overseas, if you're just going on a holiday to a caravan park, whatever, I think having a visual itinerary, which is basically just a social story with lots of pictures. And we've used it, like we'll put a map on there, we'll go on the website to wherever we're staying and we will have pictures of it. If you're going to go on a plane, you can put pictures of the plane or something similar. And if you're very careful in your wording and just say this, we might do this and this may happen, can sometimes just give that element of assurance for your kids without setting it set in stone, because that's the other issue you've got with holidays, is sometimes the flexibility. You have to be flexible. Sometimes things go wrong. So that's always another good thing with holidays, is to have a social story, to have things in place to guide your kids through that process so that it's not going to be as anxious and as stressful for them. The other thing to keep in mind for the school holidays for yourself is to actually think about yourself and to try and give yourself a little bit of time. And it doesn't have to be a half day at the spa. It doesn't have to be, a shopping trip or anything. You don't even have to leave your house. It's just little things that you can do to prioritize yourself and your self-care. So it might be that you have a cuppa, you put, a favorite movie on or something for the kids, and you can go and have a cup of tea. It might be that you go and spend some time in the garden outside while the kids are playing. It could be, that you go and have time with your dogs, or whatever the case may be. Do something for you. And it's really important that we start to look at time differently, because I know in the past I've been caught up with, I don't have enough time. I don't have time for me. And if you keep getting caught into that internal monologue, you're never going to have time for yourself, because you're always going to find something to do with that time that isn't for you. That's going to be to look after your kids or to clean your house or whatever the case may be. So it's really important for surviving the holidays and for yourself to be recharged and rested, because it's one thing to let our kids decompress. It's another for ourselves to be rested and recharged, is to allow ourselves to have time every day for us. And as I said, we've just got to start looking at time differently. We don't have a lot of time. I don't think any of us do. I certainly don't. But we need to use that time wisely and to recognise the pockets of time when we have them. And the best way to do this is to have a plan for what you want to do with that time. So, for instance, I have books, I have, to read. I'll have my phone and games and stuff to play on that. You might sort of want to, do a little bit of sewing or whatever. Who knows? You will have your own ideas and what you want to do. but have a plan, pre-plan yourself. What are you going to do? If you get an unexpected 10 minutes in your day, what are you going to do for you? And I think that's what we need to do in it. So we need to commit every day in the holidays to do something for us. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a long time. But I think just a little bit of the day, even if it's just 5 minutes, even if you have 5 minutes in the shower and you can sort of be mindful, whatever the case may be, really important to put yourself first with that as well. But I know that that's different. It's difficult. However, there are small pockets of the day. We've just got to get out of that mindset that we're too busy to do it, because there will always be moments where we can take advantage of. We just need to have the mindset, and we need to be prepared to use them that way. The last thing that I want to share that was in this post earlier today as well was being positive. Because the biggest thing, and I've noticed this myself, if I go into the holidays thinking it's going to be horrible, if I go into the holidays stressed and anxious and with no plan, it's going to be pretty horrible, because my kids will feed off my stress and anxiety. I won't have anything to look forward to myself. I won't have anything to share to look forward to with the kids. And it just ends up just being, not a good time. So if you follow this stuff, if you prepare a little bit for yourself and for your kids, if you go into it with a positive mindset to say, yep, okay, there's going to be some challenges these next few weeks, but you know what, I am going to be okay, and we're going to get through this, and I've got a plan of attack, you will find that it will be easier and you will have a more positive time. So it sounds really simple. It sounds too simple, but it is something to keep in mind and something to remember. If you can stay positive, if you go into it, if you have a plan of attack for yourself, and if you have a plan of attack for the kids, it's going to be okay, and you're going to get through it. So that's the one thing I just wanted to share, that I think that that having that positive mindset. So I'm looking forward to things. We've got some things planned. We're having some downtime. There's something I'm not looking forward to in the holidays. I'm actually having my wisdom teeth, all 4, taken out on the second week of the holidays. So I've had to put strategies in place for that, and I'll share those probably next week or the week after. Maybe when it's all over, I can tell you how it went. But yeah, it's concentrating on the good stuff. So we're looking at spending some time with the kids, having time with friends, and just having movie nights, just doing some small things here and there. We're not going away this holidays, but we're hoping to still have a good time. And I think if you go into it in that mindset, and if you plan to have a good time, it's going to be more likely you will. And I can't guarantee you're going to have a great holiday. It's going to be hard. It always is, and I know that. But I also know from experience that if you go into it dreading the holidays, if you go into it going, this is going to be horrible, it's not going to help the situation. And you are going to find that you'll be more inclined to sort of, to not have a good time. But having a plan and having that mindset and being open to the possibility that it is going to be good will definitely help. So they're the strategies that I wanted to share today. And the first is to give your kids time. So quick recap, give your kids some time to decompress. That's really important. Don't overload the holidays. Have a day on, day off, whatever, works for you. Even if you're away, try and build in that downtime. But really give them time to decompress, because they've just had a whole term of trying to be on and trying to control themselves, and it takes its toll. They need that time to relax. Look at using a schedule, a calendar, or a routine to try and give a little bit of structure into the holidays. The kids have gone just from a very structured school situation, and they're going to go into an unstructured holiday situation. Make that transition easier. And obviously that will also make the transition back to the structure of school easier as well. Look at using social stories and visual itineraries if you're going away. They can also help obviously for outings, even if you're not going away, but using visual itineraries and social stories will really help address those anxiety issues as well, and will hopefully make sure and ensure that you'll have a much better experience as well. Don't forget time for yourself. Number 4, really give yourself some time. As I said, it just has to be 5 minutes, a half an hour. If you can get more, that's awesome. If you can get time off or time away or whatever, that is fabulous. But the real issue we have as special needs parents is the fact we don't have a lot of time. So we've got to use time more wisely. And that means being prepared to use it. So having a plan for when time appears and happens. Your parents might say, hey, we'll take the kids for a while. And you go, oh my God, what am I going to do? That's what I do. I don't know what I'm going to do. But have a plan for how you can use that time. But also look at time differently. You may not have all the time you want, but you have time. And if you can try and carve out 10 minutes for yourself a day to do something for you, that's going to make a lot of difference in the holidays as well. And the fifth and final tip is to stay positive. So try and go into the holidays in a positive state of mind. It will make a big difference. If you don't go into it positively, you're going to reap what you sow. You're not going to have a good time. But if you find yourselves, if you have plans, if you put in place some scheduling, if you go in thinking, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm going to have a plan of attack, you're going to have a better chance of success. So I can't guarantee you're going to enjoy your holidays, and I can't guarantee I'm going to enjoy them. I'm certainly not when I have my operation for my mouth, but I'm going to do my best, and I'm putting in place things so that I can help the kids through it, and so that they are in a better position to return back to school for term 4 as well. So if you've got any questions, please add them onto the comments here, because obviously the replay will be up. If you have any questions, you can email me as well. You can email me at kirsty@positivespecialneedsparenting.com. You can also sign up to my email list. There will be a sign up box. I think it's on this side, isn't it, when you see the video? So you'll see a sign up box up top. Please sign up if you want to have access to newsletters and to my blog posts, and to things when I release them on YouTube. This will go back onto my YouTube channel as well. I'm going to get better at putting them online as well. But yeah, please, if you got anything, let me know. And I wish you all the best of luck in the upcoming holidays. I know I'm going to need it. You guys will need it. But truly, if you come at it in a proactive state of mind, and if you use some of these tips, it is going to be a better holiday for you and your kids. So all the best for it. Good luck, and I'll see you on the other side.